Hello, fifth graders. So we're back to looking at subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. In this case, we're going to look a little bit at regrouping. So this is going to focus a little more on the regrouping. We are going to use the algorithm, but I am going to show you what it looks like with the area model so that you can, if you forget why we're doing this, why we kind of break something apart as we do. How do we borrow with subtraction? So again, we want to make sense of our problem, persevere in solving it, and for math practice number 8, find the correct tool and use it. So first problem, I have 5 1/4 minus 2 2/3. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and start with an area model method. So I need to draw 5 boxes to represent my 5 holes. And then I need one box that's going to represent my fraction. So it's 1/4. So my last one, I'm going to go ahead and divide. And then we're going to shade in. So we have 5 holes, which is the whole box. And as you're doing this, try to make them the same size. It's okay if they're not exactly. So there's my 5 holes. There's my 1/4. Then I am subtracting from that 2. So 2 holes and 2/3. So we're going to go ahead and color that. And I'm going to color that in a different color. I'm going to go ahead and do that in blue just so that it stands out as being a different fraction and the fact that we are kind of using this to subtract. Okay. So when you look at the problem, what you'll notice is that when you look at it, you'll notice that the fraction piece seems to be larger. Well, we're going to go ahead and we are going to make them common denominators. So my thirds here have to become thirds up here. So I'm going to go ahead and put my thirds in. And then my fourths here will have to become fourths here. So when we look, we went from 1/3 to 3/12. And down here, we went from 2/3 to 8/12. I cannot take 3/12 from 8/12 from 3/12. So if I rewrote this, I would have 5 3/12 minus 2 8/12. And you cannot take 8/12 away from 3. Hold up 3 fingers. Can you take 8 of those away? No. So here's what we're going to do. So I can take 3, but I'm going to need to break apart another one of these. And so I have to make another one into 12ths. So I'm going to go ahead and take one whole. And from that whole, I'm going to make 12ths. So this becomes 12/12. That one became 12/12. So here, if I were doing this, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 3 of those, but I have to get rid of 5 more. 1, 2, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what I've done is I've borrowed 1. I have 4 left, and that 1 became 12/12. So if I add these together, I add that 12 in here. Here, let me move it. I think that's a little, I'm going to do this over here. Okay. So my 1 that I borrowed became 12/12. So I'm going to add the 12 to the 3. And now I have a total of 15. Can I take 8 from 15? Yeah, I can. So when we look down here, we notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. 7 left. So what's 15 minus 7? 15 minus 8 is 7. So I have 7/12 left fraction-wise. So we've used this. This is gone. Now I still have 2 wholes to get rid of. So 1, 2. That got rid of these 2. So what I have left is this and this. So 4 minus 2 is 2. That's your answer. So this is kind of an algorithm. This is the drawing of what we were doing. You can always come back and look at this if you get stuck. Also, make sure that you call, or you call me that you need a Zoom, or you make sure you come into the math meeting, or let me know at our reading meeting that, hey, I need a math meeting. You can come in at Wednesday and ask. All these different times you can come in. So now let's look at just using an algorithm by itself. So a box of soccer game programs weighed 4 2/6 pounds. After distributing some of the programs, meaning handing them out, the box weighed 1 3/5 pounds. What was the total weight? So we know how much it started with, how much it ended with. We want to know how much we gave away. So if you take what you started with, which is 4 2/6, and we subtract what we have left over, 1 3/5, that will tell us how much we gave away. So first is common denominator. So let's start with 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Can I make 5 into 30? Yep. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30 is our common denominator. So I like to write these problems. You can write them horizontally. I like to write my subtraction problems vertically. So I have 4 2/6 is going to become 4 and something over 30 minus 1 3/5, which is going to become 1 and something over 30. So I like to change around the way I write my problems. You may do them any way you'd like. You can do it horizontally. I just prefer vertically. Okay, so now I got to change my actual fractions there. So how did I make 6 into 30? What did I multiply by? 5. So multiply your numerator by the same, 5. 2 times 5 is 10. How did I make my 5 into 30? I multiplied by 6. Multiply your numerator by 6. So I have 18. So I now have 4 10/30 minus 1 18/30. I cannot take 18 away from 10. 18 is larger. When you get in 6th grade, you learn you can, but in 5th grade, we can't. So I'm going to go ahead and borrow. I'm going to take my 1 whole from here. That leaves me with 3. My 1 becomes, remember, a whole number is just the fractions, all of the fractions over how many it takes to make a whole. So it takes, it could be 18/18ths. We have 30ths in this case. So 1 becomes some 30 pieces. How many to make a whole? All 30. So I'm going to add those 30 pieces in here, and now I have a total of 40. Can I take 18 from 40? Yes, I can. So 40 minus 18, if you don't know, do it over here in scratch paper if you have to. This is what you're thinking. 40 minus 18, okay? That's going to give you 22. So you have 22 30ths, and then 3 minus 1 is 2. Don't forget you borrowed that one, okay? So 2 and 22 30ths. Great, but I need to simplify because 22 is even, 30 is even. So I'm going to divide by 2 and get 11, divide by 2 and get 15, right? They're even, so We're going to divide by 2 over 2. I get 2 and 11/15. And that's done. That's your answer. So 2 and 11/15, what? Go back up. Pounds. So 2 and 11/15 pounds of programs. Okay? And that's the end of that. If you need to, remember to come back and watch the video. Remember to get a hold of me if you have questions. All right, guys. Good luck. I know you know how to do this.